This is a presentation on making your videos or other media formats be accessible. Primarily with videos, the thing that you're expecting to see is captioning for those who can't hear them. And with audio files, like MP3 files, you want them to have a transcript so people could read them if they can't hear them. So here is just a bit of an agenda of what we'll talk about today. A little bit of what is captioning, what are the various styles and methods of captioning. You'll learn how to create a 3C Media account, which is an organization that's contracted with the state that will provide free captioning for your instructional videos. And we'll show you how to upload your files or your videos through a website that they provide, and then their turnaround is usually under a week to give you a captioned video. So they're very good. It's what we use most often. You can request closed captioning for those videos. YouTube also can do closed captioning if you want to manage the process yourself, and nowadays they do a pretty good job. And it's not that hard to get in and edit what they don't get right. At Palomar, we have a special streaming server called Kaltura that's used for taking copyrighted media, primarily like a DVD or a VHS tape, and getting it digitized and captioned for streaming. And there's some rules around that I'll talk about when we get to that part of the presentation. There's other media formats like I said, MP3 files. Some instructors create audio recordings of things that you might want to listen to while you're jogging or working out or in the car, and it's a way of transferring educational information to you just through sound. But if you have a hearing disability, you'll need to see that in text. Confer Zoom down here, that's a very great tool that a lot of us use already, and if you don't know how to use it, we'll go over it a little bit. It's for doing meetings online. You can invite a guest to be in the meeting, you can open it up to others, and you can simultaneously illustrate things on a whiteboard or give a PowerPoint presentation or whatever, so people can be there online meeting at the same time. And there are things there that you can do as well for accessibility should you need to. And we'll take questions at the end. Now obviously this is not in a live format, we're in the room together, so I'll give you emails for myself and for Najib Mania, who also is the manager of academic technology and can also help you. All right, to go into a little bit more detail on what is captioning, partly it's the process of converting the audio content of a film, a video, CD-ROM, DVD, webcast, and sometimes a live event and other productions into text, which is displayed on a screen, a monitor, or on a player, a special player for assistive technology. Now, captions not only display words, just as the text equivalent of a spoken dialogue or narration, but also include sound effects, speaker identification, and music. I don't know if you've ever put the captions on a TV program, but they'll have little things in square brackets, eerie music playing, something like that, to give you the same idea. If you can't hear it, we still use textual information to convey what's going on in the video scene, if you will. So who needs things captioned? Well, clearly persons with a hearing loss. They can't hear it. They need the captions. But sometimes persons who aren't fluent in English are not going to be able to hear perhaps at the same speed as a native speaker would hear the language. They may want to pause and they may want to read the text and take the time to assimilate it. I know, even though I speak American English, sometimes I listen to English films and the accent is stronger than I'm used to hearing, and I'll put the captions on so I can make out what they're saying. I can't always understand it with a strong England English accent. Also, many people are visual learners. They can hear just fine, but it helps them to see the captions. It's something that people prefer. And so these are informations that have learning disabilities. They're ADD or ADHD individuals. They also can benefit from captions. So it isn't just people with a hearing loss. Just kind of picking up on that, why do we need captioning? Of course, it makes it accessible for deaf or hard of hearing. For ESL, English as a Second Language viewers, flexibility to view anywhere, such as in a noisy environment and offices. Like I say, if you're working out at the gym, sometimes they have TVs up there and they have programs playing and they have the captions on because with all the music and other noise, you wouldn't be able to hear the volume. It can be used to search. You can search through captioning. Here with reusability, basically we can take segments of a video with its segment of captioning because it's timelined on the video, so you can keep the captioning with the segment of a video if you just need to use a portion of it somewhere else. That's one way to do it. Also, captions may need to be translated into another language, and so they can be reusable that way. So it allows you to use better navigation in some cases, better user design. SEO has to do with search engine optimization and discoverability. So these words can be used to help someone find your video on the internet if that's what you needed. In general, in classroom situation, we're mostly behind a password protected site, so that's not going to be a big deal for us. But as I mentioned here, you can also use it as a source for translation. So over the years, captions are sometimes closed different things. They're called closed captions. We used to use the term subtitles a lot, or subtitles for the deaf and the hard of hearing. There's SDH for that, or transcriptions, where you're not really following along, where the words aren't following along with the video exactly. You may have a big block of talking, then you have a big audio transcript that you read, but it doesn't have to follow the video perfectly in terms of like on a per second basis. So there are two basic styles of captioning that people use. There's the pop-up style and the roll-up style. And I'll just show you, there's a link provided here where you can see the difference in both. It's nothing too dramatic, but I'm going to go over here and I'll actually show it to you. Here's a little website that shows you the different styles. So I'm going to just play this, and they're talking, but I think I've got it turned off where we won't hear it. So let's see. So you see how the words roll up? There's like 3 lines showing up, and then they roll up as the guy keeps talking. Okay, so that's your roll-up style. More common is the pop-up style that you might see here. We can play on this, and you see captioning down here like that. And when it's ready to switch, it just switches to a new set of words completely. Okay. And then we just mentioned the methods of captioning, offline captioning, most often used. But in some cases, like with a live sporting event, the captioning is live. You have someone who's really good, who's captioning this just as they're hearing it and typing it in. If you need that kind of captioning ever for like a Zoom session that we'll talk about, you have to make arrangements ahead of time with 3C Media to try to get a live captioner to work with you. All right, this ends this first introductory part of information about videos and other formats, and I'm going to take you on to the next session and talk about our Kaltura server that you can use to digitize copyrighted material.